All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time and 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. All y'all who aren't in sync with all those other things, i.e. Arizona, I'm looking in your direction. You're going to have to figure out your own times. But I also know that we have got a raid coming in from the UK. It's right around, I think, 1 a.m. there, or maybe it's midnight now that I think about it. No, I think it's 1 a.m. All right, it doesn't really matter exactly what time it is, because if you're where you're at, you know what time it is. And I do know, though, that we have a raid coming in from Scotland, because Terry in Scotland just told me it's midnight, not 1 a.m. Yeah, I realized that's the time that the movie starts on Saturday. Oops. All right, either way, Terry in Scotland came in with the raid, hosted the raid, coming in from his Twitch stream with Pinnell, writes things, Katie's Aura, and even though it doesn't say, oh, wait, nope, never mind, DJ Smook, who was here before Terry, also, though, came in with the raid, but the number one person who was here first is now gone, Mitchie Mama. She warns us, I'll be back. That is right. So we've got Mitchie Mama in the house. Shock might be here, or she might just be lurking in the business behind the black curtain as the background workers who make all of this happen to be. And it looks like we've got eMusic in the house. We, of course, have Thomas the Turtle saying hello from the East Coast as well. And let's see here. Who else am I missing? I am saying that Terry, I was about to call you Tony. I see that Tony just gave me 10,000 biddies, only it's actually not Tony, and it's actually not 10,000. Why I look at that number and say 10,000, I don't really understand. 10,000 would be ridiculous, first off. Don't even. I'm not. But that's... 1,000 is as good as 10,000, actually. I'm just going to tell you that right now, because I look at 1,000 and I think 10,000, and it's awesome. And so we've got a hype train going on. eMusic and Darlene also here. Let's see here. Who else? DJ Smook, always been here. I saw eMusic twice, but hey, I'm going to say hi to her 3 times instead. Oakley dokley, y'all. We have got, we've got a kitty in the box is what we've got. But we've also got the usual suspects getting ready for the usual party, so why don't we get the party started? Boop. Alrighty, I had to get up during the party to go see what was so interesting in that little box that the kitty was in. Yes, there is an earbud in the box, so the kitty is much happy. Tiny toy, little box, bat, bat, bat. And, oh, crumbly wumbly. Y'all, Cola T's in the house, and I'm not disappointed that she's in the house. I'm very happy that she's in the house, in fact. But she shared with me some pictures of the new Don Don Donkey in Honolulu, and I've been meaning to download them for a few days now, and alas, I completely forgot. So one day we will be talking about Don Don Donkey, but today, and it will be thanks to Picola T that we'll be talking about it. But today's not going to be the day. But in case I did not say hello to Picola T, hey Picola T, and apparently, nope, not in Honolulu. It's in Kapolei. All right. Sorry. New Donkey is in Kapolei. All right. All I know is this, Picola T. I have a friend who went to Taiwan, and she was trying to explain to me, and she couldn't remember the name of the store, and she was trying to explain to me, and she's like, it's something like Donkey. And I was like, Don Quixote? And she's like, no. Oh, it's Don Don Donkey. And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that too. And she's just like, what are you even talking about? And so I was like, well, my friend Photo Luke in Hawaii, I was like, this is not just an Asia thing. We have them in America too. She was very excited and bummed that we had them in America, because she thought that she found this like, oh, nobody's going to know about this kind of store. And the first person who tells about it is like, oh yeah, I already know about that. And exactly, Cold Tea, if all you want to do is shop in Japan, there's no need to fly there. Just go Donkey. Exactly. That's what Yeah, that's kind of what she was saying. That because she was in Taiwan, obviously. Well, I think I mentioned that, so obviously. But that's what she was saying. She was like, it was just like a Japanese store. And the more she was talking about it, the more I was like, I feel like I already know what store you're talking about, but she couldn't remember the name. And so finally I just had to come up with, Don Quixote or the other one. Yep, it was the other one. So we will be learning a little bit about that later on, but not today. Not today. Not today. If, however, we get to a topic that I've been meaning to talk about for the past 2 weeks, we will be talking about China, not Taiwan, but actual China. But we've been managing to avoid that topic for the last couple weeks just because we've been getting distracted about other stuff. And getting distracted about other stuff is exactly what Chatter with Statter is all about. Because, boom, the chatter scatters. And hey, Kenny from the Cove coming in, saying a ho to the kinfolk here on the Statterbox crew. Kenny, did you, is today a holiday? Did you take the day off? What are you doing here, man? Aren't you supposed to be at work? I know I sound like I'm giving you the third degree, but I can't help it because I know that you always aren't here on Wednesdays, but here you are here on Wednesday, and so now I have to ask, why are you here on Wednesday? I like that you're here on Wednesday, but I just feel like I totally gave you, like I was a mom and like giving you the third degree. I gave you the 10th degree, man. I gave you not the third degree. I gave you the 10th degree. That's it. And eMusic and Darlene sharing stories of snow or no. Sounds like eMusic says no snow. I'm not sure if Darlene's got the snow. I might have missed that. And let's see here. Kenny is totally and completely stoked today. I'm going to assume that Kenny did not go to work today if he is totally and completely stoked, because I feel as though going to work and the emotion of totally and completely stoked are very rarely in alignment. They're very rarely experienced at the same day. So that's just my guess. My guess is he did not go to work today. And DJ Smook confirming no snow for Southeast Texas. Normally, Smook, I'd just be pointing and laughing and like, of course there's not snow in Southeast Texas. Except for this year, that would be silly because there could be snow in Southeast Texas. And so, Kenny, we're on day shift hours when the teachers and kids are on spring break. Oh, is it spring break now? I guess, yeah. Looking at the time frame, I suppose it is. All right. Well, there you have it. Now you get to know what it's like to work day shift without the little germy gremlins being there. And Terry in Scotland's letting us know John Dobb and Peter Von Gom went to Don Quixote in Tokyo where Peter purchased some black man underwear. Black man underwear. A thing in Japan. There's a lot to unpack in the phrase black man underwear. No pun intended, by the way. I don't even know how to broach the question, Terry, so I'm just going to sit here confused for a minute until somebody explains to me what? Yeah, exactly, Picolati. I'm like, I don't even know how to ask the question without having it go off the rails in a multitude of directions. But what is black man underwear? Wow, that just so many things. Now, is it man underwear that happens to be black? I'm hoping and assuming it's as simple as that. Oh, this is the next question I don't want to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway because Japan's weird. Is black man like a character in Japan? And we are avoiding the topic that I really, really didn't really want to touch. Once again, no pun intended. Okay, so that's what it means. Okay, that's what it means. Got it. We actually have those here too, although they're not marketed as such. But there are accentuating undergarments for men. We have those too here. Although I have to say, okay. They're not Pokemon panties. They look like the Mon could poke you with those panties. Okay, now I am thoroughly confused though, y'all, because I don't know what kind of store I thought. Shock, false advertising, shame. So Shock is here in the house with a very good point of view, actually. I wonder if men would accept push-up pads. Well, Michi Mama, now that you ask, the underwear that I've seen in this country kind of does. They have this little like padded cradle that puts it all forward. I don't know how comfortable they are. But yeah, anyway, I have a lot of gay friends and I've seen these bathing suits and underwears. And yeah, the Wonder Bra, right, exactly, the Wonder Bra. And I'll tell you what, you guys, the Wonder Bra, when I was younger and skinnier, was one of my favorite bras. And they really did oomph the boom. Like, it made your girl packages very plump and juicy. My mom even once over Thanksgiving dinner, because nobody in my family is particularly well endowed. First off, let me just in the breastises department. So one day, I was wearing my Wonder Bra, and it was Thanksgiving, and so we're having Thanksgiving dinner. You know, I mean, it's Thanksgiving dinner. Like, there's aunts and uncles. There is extended family, okay? And finally, just in the middle, she looks at me and literally she says, well, okay, I'm not going to say literally because I will censor what she said. But she did not censor herself. What she said was, "What the F is up with your tits these days anyway?" Meaning they were all big and out there and looking all bigger than mine used to ever look, and hers ever looked, and my sister's ever looked. Because like I said, none of us were that particularly well endowed. But the Wonder Bra, dude, seriously, yeah, what the F is up with your tits lately at Thanksgiving dinner? That is what a Wonder Bra can do. And let's see here. And Shock, well endowed is overrated. I can agree and disagree with that. I have points to argue both sides of that argument. Let's see here. Hold on. Kenny from the Cove trying to change the subject entirely. Ever since I saw Tombstone in the theaters, I've wanted a duplicate of the Boss of the Plains hat that Sam Elliott wore in that flick. Even talked to a local custom hat maker about getting one made. They gave me the phone number of the guy that made all the hats for all the principal players in that movie. Oh, that's super cool, dude. But do you have the $5,853 just to consult on getting a hat like that made? Because my best guess is a hat like that is not going to be cheap. Terry in Scotland, you are so funny because a potato strategically placed can accomplish wonders so long as it's in the front. Absolutely. Also, though, correctly placed in the front. Let me explain to you what I mean. Back in the 1980s, tight jeans for the glam rocker boys were very, very, very important part of their costume, uniform, whatever. And in those tight jeans, many of those rock stars, literal on-stage rock stars, would stuff their crotch with usually socks. Well, if you don't secure the socks or the potato properly during a concert where you're running around doing your show, things move. And so, a couple of photographs of this particular singer, okay, it was Bret Michaels from Poison, had people ask, they knew that he had to, like, he had to confess that he stuffed because the sock had moved like about a quarter of the way down his thigh. So, you know, you've got your normalness, and then you've got a little bit of a leg, and then you've got this random lump. halfway down his thigh. And, he's on stage singing his. And several magazines have published this particular picture from that particular concert. And he eventually had to just admit, like, well, clearly that's not attached to me. I mean, he's like, yeah, and then, of course, if you've ever seen Spinal Tap, you know about the cucumber. And if you haven't seen Spinal Tap, there's a cucumber wrapped in aluminum foil, which I never really understood, that gets confiscated during a metal detection while getting on an airplane. And of course, the cucumber was, well, you know where the cucumber was. And shock, that is true. Shower versus grower. I can't believe we're having this conversation. Shower versus grower is a real thing. I've seen dudes hung like a stack of buttons that suddenly turn into a much larger stack of buttons. We'll just leave it at that. And let's see here. So you are the hat maker called you back today. The maker of the hat that Sam Alien is going to make an exact duplicate of that hat. Oh, dude, that is so awesome. And yeah, I hope we do get to see a picture. And Shock, yeah, you've always dated guys who are leg men. I find that somewhat ironic because, yeah, you have a lack of legs. Although actually it's not really true. Your legs are probably stronger than 5 legs put together. But yeah, they're definitely not. Well, let's just say they are attached to you. They are attached to you. And let's see here. And even with shipping, the hat's going to be way under 1,000. Wow, dude, that's pretty good. Stetson, I don't have to explain to you what a Stetson costs, for God's sake. So to have a custom made hat that you wanted by like an actual, not just some schmo hat maker on the corner, right? That is supremely cool. And Shock, yeah, they reach the ground, and as long as they reach your asshole, then we're good to go. Yeah, I know, I just said a bad word, sorry. But I don't know. Let's see, Shock, is YouTube not working? I don't know. My restream makes it look like it's working. Is YouTube working? I don't know. Let's see here. You never really knew why all the girls called you Tripod. Well, there might be a reason. Then again, they might have been just pulling your leg. So, but let's see here. I'm going to go check if my YouTube's working. Are the tubes of you working? It looks like 3 people are watching. It says I'm live. I'm going to say YouTube's working. Rick says that YouTube's working. Felicia coming in with, yes, YouTube is working. Shock kind of now going there. Test. Okay, it's working. I know, the YouTubers were all quiet. Exactly. And do you know what a white daikon looks like? Yeah, that's how my legs were described back in the day. More strong than shapely. Yeah, there you go, Picola. My legs, if they were tanner, would look more like a turkey leg, a roasted turkey leg. But mine instead just look like a raw turkey leg because I'm so flippin' pale. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and let's see here. And yes, I do know what the white daikon looks like. And, all right, cool. So we have our systems. They have been tested. We accidentally on purpose swore, so our boundaries have been tested. And oh my goodness, Jesus Louises, LMMFAO was a flippin' flirpin' held term. Man, this censor bot really has got to loosen the flying fork up, because even though I don't say too many things in this flippin' flirpin' stream that are against the rules, that's just silly. I mean, come on, DJ Smook, you and I both know that is perfectly acceptable language. There's a flippin' rock and roll group named that after all. All right. Let's see here. A breast man, leg man. I've always been, she's got all of her teeth and a job, so I'm down for it kind of guy. I'm telling you, man, honestly, and I know that this is absolutely classist. It's classist. It is. But I really do, and I don't think I'm the only one. But when people have jacked up teeth, it's just, it's jacked up teeth, you know, and that is not cool, because dental care, dental restoration, dental fixer-uppering is so expensive that, like, I cannot logically hold against someone their jacked up teeth. Now, if they don't brush them, that's a whole different story. But even if they're perfectly clean and shiny and white, and they're like missing their front two teeth, it's kind of a tough one. Like, I kind of would like you to get a bridge, dude. So, you know, it just, yeah. But yeah, the teeth are a thing. I'm not gonna lie. And I know that as soon as I've said this, now I'm gonna go lose one of my teeth and not be afford to flippin' replace it, and now I'll be eating my words or slurping words through a straw. But yeah, and I don't think I'm the only one though. I mean, Kenny, you just said if you've got all your teeth, right? And Shock, teeth and hair are proxies for long-term health, and these things are important to prospective partners. Coming in with probably the biological reality to the reason our brain cells synopsize the way they do to get the little brain chemicals feeling when you look at things. But yeah, for real, dude, if they're all dirt, and it's not fair, because dentists nowadays are capitalists big times. I can't even afford to go with insurance. Fork them and fork the insurance companies. Hashtag rant over, but actually, DJ Smook, you can continue to rant, because I'm so on your same page. I am so on your same page. And Terry in Scotland, orthodontists make a killing. I inherited big teeth from my father and a small jawline from my mother. I have 4 fewer teeth than most people. Wow, because you've got, and you can't, oh. All right, and then let's see here. Mr. P's broke and impulsive 18-year-old self did dental stuff that he's paying for now. Young and dumb, eh? Right, yep, exactly. And let's see here. And bad teeth usually result from a poor diet, a generation or two of poverty, and the consequences of that on the skeleton. Yes, and once again, to circle back to, it is totally classist of me to have this reaction to the teeth, because it's poverty. Like, people can't always help that they grew up in poverty. In fact, most people can't help that they grew up in poverty because they're kids, and it's their parents that are the ones earning the money, right? And so I just, yeah, I know it's classist. I know it's not okay for me to judge people like that, but it's there. It's there. And let's see here, Shot. Kids today have generally got much wider faces than kids of my generation did. What do you mean by that? Do you mean chubbier and fatter? Because I'm thinking that that's true. Or do you mean structurally? I can truly say I've never even looked at a kid's face in that way. Structurally interesting. Well, you know, I mean, I can only assume that is a sign of maybe a healthier diet. Which I have hesitancy to say, because I know that a lot of our processed foods in America are not exactly healthy, but we also do have an abundant source of food here for the most part. So you're right, a more abundant diet. Okay, got it, right, yeah. And let's see here, Freddie Mercury was born with 4 more teeth than most people. And that does not at all surprise me. I mean, if you've ever looked at him, I don't think that should surprise you. I had a friend who actually had, I refer to it as shark teeth, but her teeth looked like teeth. That's not what made them shark teeth. But she had like 5 sets of them. So she had to get surgery when she was like in 2nd grade to like take out like 2 or 3 sets of teeth that were just waiting to come in. So weird. I don't know how or why humans evolved to have, and I know that she's not the only person who's had that phenomenon. Obviously, they were able to recognize it and remedy it fairly easy. But I've also heard of people who've had multiple sets of teeth just waiting to come down. And let's see here, shock. It'll be interesting to learn if there are fewer wisdom teeth being extracted from younger people. Interesting. I probably feel like I'm going to go down that rabbit hole one day. Thanks. And Pacola T, kids stay taller and bigger overall than previous generations. You know, it's funny you should say that, Pacola T, but I actually don't know if that's true. I mean, it might be. It's very easy to substantiate that claim. But I do remember when I was in elementary school, my class, what ended up being the class of 91, we were all way bigger than all the classes after us in elementary school. I remember looking at all these little kids and just like, we were so much bigger. We were just bigger. So for a little while there, I don't know if a bunch of hippies and their macrobiotic kids like made them weaklings or whatever, but it was weird. And even the teachers commented like, no, you guys are a big class. You guys are full of bigger people. But that was, eons ago. And so there's plenty generations, since then that, that might have been as big as we were, man. And, let's see here, with the transition to agriculture, height and health crashed hard, and it's only recently gone back up. Got it. And, let's see here, Darlene, my grandkids are getting to be taller than me, not 6-year-old Guinevere yet, but the others are. And, hold on one second here. I missed something. That's the shark gene, multiple sets of teeth waiting to drop. Oh, okay, cool. I'm sure it's not the shark gene, but I'm guessing it probably is a gene that has something to do with that. And yeah, exactly, Rick. The only teeth I have problems with today are the ones they fixed. And let's see here. Circling back to the male stuffing false advertising phenomenon. If a woman even asks me what I'm bringing to the party, I just say with a straight face, a button on a fur coat. It's amazing how lucky a guy can get when a woman's rampant curiosity takes hold of her. There you go. And Mitchie Mama bragging, I only had 2 wisdom teeth in my top jaw. Thankfully, I didn't have bottom ones because I had to pay for extraction while in college. Oh, Dr. Lau only charged you $50 for each, and you stayed with him until he retired. That is so awesome, Mitchie Mama. When I was a kid, had a dentist my whole childhood life. And quite honestly, I wish, had I stayed in town where I grew up, I absolutely would have been with him the rest of my life too, because he was, I don't consider very many doctors that I've visited in my life as like, that was my doctor. But that dentist actually was one of the doctors that I look back on and go, yeah, he was my doctor. It was good, man. He knew me. He knew my family. He knew my teeth. He knew my teeth's history. And, let's see here. So Terry in Scotland, your geology professor in Odessa was convinced he was a Neanderthal because his upper teeth didn't overlap his lowers. Weird. I didn't know that could happen. And look at the Neanderthals where the heights are the tallest on... Oh, no. Wait. Not Neanderthals. The Netherlands. Look at the Netherlands where heights are the tallest on average. Yeah, the Netherlands are remarkably tall people, as are a lot of Norwegians. And you just want the European model of healthcare and dentist insurance. Honestly, actually, you know what, DJ Smook? I want the Chinese version of at least dental insurance, which is there is no dental insurance. There's just a dentist on the corner and you go to him when you need to. And you pay like 20 or 30 bucks and then you walk out with a fixed tooth or whatever. Apparently in China, going to the dentist is basically the same thing as getting your nails done. You just, or getting your hair cut. It's like, yeah, you go to, I don't know, where do you want to go? Go there, go there. There's another one around the street. You got an abscess tooth? Walk in, they'll fix it. That's what I want. And, well, let's see here. The same thing here. Dennis got up on the arm of the dental chair for leverage while he was pulling. Oh my gosh. Hold on. And impacted wisdom teeth, that's when they don't want to come all the way out, right? And they have to kind of dig in for them. That sounds painful. And people in Asia are getting taller as well. Well, some people in Asia are already mighty tall. I'm sorry, dude, but Chinese people, China takes over a lot of landmass. And there are some places in China where people are flippin' tall. And I'm not even talking about the basketball player, okay? Who obviously proves my point. But I also think he's a bit of an outlier. And I wish I could remember his name, but I can't. But you guys know, the Chinese basketball player that was like 7'14" or something along those lines. You know who I'm talking about. And, let's see here, Mama Sean bringing her Dr. Aura to her Dr. Energy Resido to the Chatterbox. Just got back from a doctor appointment to find us talking about doctors. Yep, doctors and dentists. We were talking about something different before. We were talking about, cucumbers and daikon radishes and socks and all the things that those things could be. Yeah, well, you know, men like to sometimes show off things they don't have. So they use socks or cucumbers or daikon radishes. And apparently the Cro-Magnons did in the Neanderthals. Okay. And, yeah, Pinnell, you got all 4 years and they were all impacted. Yeah, you had to be put under, I would imagine, Pinnell, if they were impacted. And, cause yeah, that's like real surgery. That's not just pulling teeth. That's cutting open and stuff. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove. I had an adult molar extracted and it was replaced naturally. I had an adult molar extracted and it was replaced naturally when one of my wisdom teeth came down to replace it. Surprisingly, it came in straight and painlessly. All right. Kenny was born with an extra set just in case. And, let's see here. China has one of the strongest records of decent nutrition. Got it. Okay, that would explain their propensity to grow tall. And, let's see here. What height am I? Asks Terry in Scotland. Kenny from the Cove. Yao Ming? Yes, that's who I was talking about. That is definitely who I'm talking about. Terry, I'm 5'5". I'm not going to tell you how many centimeters because I don't know. I don't know centimeters, but I'm 5'5". It's very, very easy to remember. 5 and 5. So I'm definitely what's not known as tall, and some people even call me short. But I don't think 5'5" is short. I definitely think it's on the verge of being short, but it's not short. Now, in my house, in my family, I mean, well, in my house, I'm the tallest one because, well, you know, it's me and the cats. But in my family growing up, yeah, I was the shortest one. Ooh, boy, howdy, I was the shortest one. My sister made fun of me for being so short. My sister's 5'10", so, you know, and she's 4 years younger than me, so, you know. My dad was 6 feet. My mom was 5'9". I'm 5'5". So yeah, I'm not that tall. And let's see here. Oh my gosh, Pinnell, you're Dennis. No wonder you don't like Dennis. You had awful ones as a kid, and one of them dislocated your jaw. Oh no. Yeah, no. And those of us who grow up chunky generally don't get tall. I grew up chunky. I didn't get that tall, but my sister was chunky just like me, and she grew up to be tall. She also has dark brown hair and almost black eyes. And when she gets tan, more than one person has been known to ask her, so what are you? Are you part Samoan? No, she's not part Samoan. And some of those Chinese folks are tall enough to hunt ducks by snatching them out of the air. And Darlene, yeah, it's hard to keep the weight good at times with the short frame. Absolutely, dude, because it's like suddenly 1 pound on a short frame looks like 10 pounds on a larger frame, and it's not fair because you can gain 1 pound by drinking one too many smoothies that day. And let's see here. Picola T, my folks are 5'2" and 5'3", but I only made it to 4'11", and I'm shrinking. Now, okay, Picola T, no offense, but 4'11" would be a height that I would consider short. Whereas 5'5", people call me short, but I don't really consider that short. I consider it average. 4'11", that's a little bit short, okay? Just a little bit. And, Mama Sean, your boys are 6'4", but you're shrinking. My younger son gets asked what he is when he tans too. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's amazing sometimes, you know. I mean, who knows what is in my sister's genetic background. I've taken my DNA test, and whoo, boy howdy, all the DNA that got to me was the super white stuff. Maybe she's got a mixture of some pepper with her salt, but I'm pretty much just salt. If you hadn't noticed, I am one salty lady. And wow, though, you're 6'4", you are, Terry, and your wife was what, 5'1"? That's quite. She just must have felt like a dainty little flower with you. And Kenny from the Cove, I didn't grow up chunky, or I grew up fat. Or I was full on fat, but I'm 6'1" in spite of past obesity. There you go. There you go. And let's see. Felicia, you're 5'8" on the high side of I'm 5'8" on the high side of 5'5.5", on the low side 5'6 1/4. Oh, 5'8" on the high side, 5'5.5" on the low side, so 6 1/4. Wait, are you saying that you rise and shrink? You shrink and fall? You Dang, girl, you must have a flexible spine if you can grow and shrink that long. And let's see here. Rick is 6'1", but Darlene is 5'1", so foot taller. That is just so dang cute. And Picola T, Mr. P is 6 feet on his driver's license and in his memory. He's still in denial from the last doctor visit when the measurement was 5'11", because he's probably shrinking too. Yeah, from what I understand, the average person shrinks about 1/2 inch every 20 years because their spine is compressing. So yeah, it makes sense that he would have at least probably lost an inch. I did at one point I was 5'6". I was. And then at one point I was 5'5.5". And yeah, I did hold on to that half. But the last doctor visit revealed to me, nope, I'm just 5'5". So there you are. And let's see here. Your brother and I tan like berries. My mom, I don't really understand that phrase because berries don't really tan. But my mom and my grandpa and my grandma always use that. You're brown as a berry. And my sister, she gets brown as a berry. I, on the other hand, get red as a berry. Berries are red. I get red as a berry. And tall guys and short girls, it's a match made in heaven. There you have it. There you have it. And exactly, Terry, we all settle like old houses. Oh, Felicia, you've got one leg too long, and so you can Felicia, you kind of you're an adjustable height. Now with adjustable height, Felicia, is it 5'8"? Is she 5'5"? And by the way, I didn't mean to call you an it. That was really rude. It just came out of my mouth. I meant she when I said that. Yeah, words are hard. And by the way, Felicia, though, I don't know if I did say hello, so hello to you, and Terry and Scotland also saying hello. So let's see here. What do we have to talk about for 2 minutes? I'm not quite sure. So, and let's see here. Pinnell, you're seen as Indigenous more often in the summer. That makes sense. That makes sense. Although, I have to say, Indigenous folk sometimes are very difficult to spot with or without tan. One of my friends, Carrie, she is half Alaskan Native, and she has red hair, green eyes, and freckles. And when I found out that she was, well, okay, when she first told me she was Native, I actually kind of laughed at her and was like, don't do that, white girl. But then she's like, no, really. And she and she showed me. And I looked at the rest of her family and I was like, oh, shoot. I didn't. All right, sorry. So actually, sometimes natives don't even look like they're natives. Or indigenous, actually, because native does have doesn't really have a good sound to that. So indigenous, let me choose that word instead. And yeah, actually, Mitchie Mama, you bring up a good point. And Felicia, I really shouldn't be laughing because one leg longer than the other, I can only assume causes some back and hip issues. And I hope that that's not like a huge, well, for lack of a better phrase, I hope it's not a huge pain in the ass for you to have one leg longer than the other. But it might be. And hopefully you won't have to get a hip replacement. But if you do, I'll tell you what right now, apparently hip replacements, the technology they have these days is phenomenal. And so if you need to get a knee replaced, don't. If you need to get an ankle replaced, don't. Because that technology is not phenomenal yet. But the hip replacement technology, very, very good. And yeah, Felicia's height varies according to what convenience store she walks out of. No, I totally understand what you mean by that. With or without the Ron White joke. By the way, I do know the joke you're referring to. But anyway, so let's see here. Felicia, when my kids were little, we decided to split the difference since there's a 2.5 inch discrepancy and we came up with 5, 6 and a quarter. Right. That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. And let's see here. Darlene, hold on. That's what happens when you go out to space without gravity to squelch you down your spine and stuff lengthens. You become taller. Just heard that on the news with the astronauts coming back. Oh, wow. Actually kind of makes sense. Now I'm curious. And I'm sure they're going to study it. How quick are they going to shrink back? Or if how long will that lengthening from lack of gravity last? I guess is what I'm curious. And I have no doubt in my mind that they are going to be studying that. But I'm very curious what the results will be. Oh yes, oh yes. All right, you guys. So it is only 1 minute past our Lono listing break, and that is a pretty good set of timing that we just did here because. Boy, oh boy, normally we're not that good. So let's go. I mean, I don't know if Puzzycat's here, and Trail Dust should probably be here real soon. So hopefully they'll get here in time, but here is our Lono listening break. Boop.
Hey, welcome back. Okay. Let's go. Nothing better than unusual love. It's the kind of love that puts you to your knees when God looks down. vibrations, and that's my oh my. We can make love till the morning light, up and down the road as we go south side. Unusual love keeps you alive. Do you wanna feel unusual love? And wouldn't you wanna see unusual love? Girl, I'm making love to you deep inside. I'm in my truck as we go for a ride. Feel sweet vibrations, and it's my oh my. We can make love till the morning light, up and down the road as we go south side. Unusual love keeps you alive. Unusual. There on the table, a man of many dreams. He thinks about his woman and all the many years. Time goes by, he calls to her again. That unusual love comes shining in. Unusual love. Unusual, unusual love. Yeah, yeah. Unusual. Girl, I'm making love to you deep inside. I'm in my truck as we go for a ride. Feel sweet vibrations, and it's my oh my. We can make love till the morning light, up and down the road as we go south side. Unusual, unusual love. Yeah, yeah. Unusual love. Unusual love. That unusual love.
All right, there we have it. There we have it. And we had some semi-adult themed conversation going along on the sidebar there. Probably better that we left those words unspoken and only typed. So I can honestly say I don't even know how or where or why this chatter did what it did today, but I am loving it. So we are definitely, shall we say, comfortable with each other. Oh, all right. So as we have been wont to talk about before, what is up? Let's see here. Hold on. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, there we go. Total segue here, you guys. But we've all been lamenting, and Terry's been bragging that, step away from Felicia. Wow, step away from the chat to make a phone call, and and Terry in Scotland. Is there an airline based in Genoa, Italy called Genitalia? There should be. You know, I hope there's not, because I would really like to think that that name would not be able to go through committee. However, we do know that sometimes people manage to get things through committee that really should not have gotten through committee. For instance, there is I think it's a hashtag called hashtag Who Remembers. Okay? It is supposed to be read as Who Remembers. Hashtag Who Remembers is what it's supposed to say. But that's not how it reads. It reads very differently. And I've just typed the hashtag Who Remembers. Who remembers is what it's supposed to say. Yet somehow it got through committee looking like that. And nobody noticed? Nobody said anything? Or was there just no committee? Because I don't read it as Who Remembers. I look at this and go, I think I might be a member of that club. I'm a whore member. Exactly. Who's a hoe? That's just like, who's a hoe? Who belongs to that club? Yeah. Who remembers? That's what it's supposed to read. And it is a hashtag that occasionally does come up on social media. So next time you see that, I hope you get a little giggle. Who remembers? Yeah. Yeah. It's not what who remembers. That's not how you spell who remembers, guys. But when you're doing hashtags, it's all got to be one word. And so, And speaking of who remembers, oh wait, hold on. It'll be interesting to see how 9 months plus does to a human in space. They said they even have to learn how to walk again with being anchored with gravity again. It actually hurts, they said, to walk on the soles of their feet. Oh, wow, Darlene. Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. But that does make sense. But, all right, to get back to the Who Remembers, that's right. Who remembers what we've been talking about for weeks now, which is the price of eggs in China. Okay, maybe not the price of eggs in China, the price of eggs here in America, and eventually in the UK. And we've been wondering, well, why can't we just eat these? Why can't we just eat turkey eggs? Because turkey eggs apparently are very similar to chicken eggs in taste. They're maybe a little bit smaller than duck eggs, I guess. Or maybe they're bigger than duck eggs. I don't know. But why don't we eat turkey eggs? Apparently, there's a really good reason, and this is why. Boop.
Why we don't eat turkey eggs. Are they toxic? On average, a given American eats about 250 chicken eggs per year. And sure, we've started dabbling in other delicious and interesting varieties. The rich, enormous yolks of duck eggs, the tiny delicacy of quail eggs, the technically edible emu egg. But have you ever been served a turkey egg, or even thought about it? Probably not. Turkey eggs are perfectly edible and nutritious. They contain a similar nutritional profile to chicken eggs, with a slightly richer taste. So why don't we eat them more often? First of all, they are much larger than chicken eggs, so they are more challenging to handle, transport, and store. Secondly, they are not as available. Turkeys lay eggs much less frequently than other birds. A chicken or a duck lays about 1 egg per day, but a turkey lays at most about 2 per week. Turkeys are also more expensive to raise in a factory setting, requiring much more space and food than a chicken. Because of the cost of production and scarcity, turkey eggs tend to be quite a bit more expensive, usually around $3 per egg. Turkeys are usually bred for meat rather than egg production. The focus on turkey farming has traditionally been on the bird's meat rather than its eggs.
And yeah, that's right. Oop, I've got reverb. That's right. I've got reverb. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. That was a AI bot that was reading that script. I hate that, but I thought it was a nice little quick blurb. Apparently, there's been a cost analysis. If we were to sell turkey eggs commercially, they would range from they would be about $36 a dozen. So I guess when faced with the consequences of that, I don't really want to eat turkey eggs. Not at $36 a dozen. That's for sure. That is for sure. And Michi Mama, yeah, the quail eggs are very popular. It seems like all the Asian marts in Seattle always have. In fact, it seems like the Asian marts in Seattle have more quail eggs on their shelves in their store than they have room for the chicken eggs. In fact, this one store that I go to, HKM, their quail egg section is huge. Their balut section is not tiny. And then their regular chicken egg section is by far the smallest. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's why, Darlene. So the turkey eggs are perfectly healthy and acceptable to eat. And Pinnell, eggs were on sale at No Frills for $3.95 last week. Oh my gosh, I would have bought so many. And Rick, it appears that people have been smuggling eggs across the southern border. Uh-oh. And Terry, I wouldn't be surprised if the turkeys are susceptible to the bird flu. But it turns out, I mean, like, they're just so... It's just not reasonable to raise them for egg production. And maybe the turkeys aren't as susceptible to the bird flu as chickens are because they're raised in a less crowded facility. Because chicken, you know, the way we get our eggs is pretty gross. The way they treat the chickens, they're basically shoved in, you know, as many chickens in a cage as possible. Even the free range ones aren't necessarily done much better. And so since turkeys, they say, take much more space to grow or to raise, maybe just that airflow between the birds doesn't make a flock as susceptible. But you know what? I don't know what I'm talking about at all. And 1/3 the price in Mexico, says Rick about the eggs. Wow. Yep. And let's see here. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, now, Felicia, though, brings up a very good topic of conversation. We got distracted by eggs for a minute, but hold on. Now we need to focus, you guys. We need to group think, hive mind. This is where the statter box is going to show our power. Felicia asked, to switch topics for a moment, I was disappointed to discover that the state of Hawaii has already given not his to someone else's car. So I will take 6-letter funny suggestions for a 370Z. So that is our assignment for the rest of this stream and on to the next stream, which will be Sunday. 6 letters, funny, 370Z. Felicia, I know very little about cars. What is a 370Z? I want to say it's a Datsun, but Datsuns don't exist anymore, so I'm going to guess it's not a Datsun. Can you tell me what a 370Z... Can somebody tell me what a 370Z is? I mean, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but I want to envision the car to help bring my funny ideas to the surface. And you ordered free-range eggs from Tesco. Dude, you're still waiting for the free stove. Totally, man. Talk about false advertising. And Pinnell, seems that chickens here have more space, less bird flu. Pinnell, there's nothing about that surprises me, actually. So, yeah, I'm not at all surprised to learn that Canada maybe doesn't industrialize their egg farming quite to the maximum capacity that the United States does. And lo and behold, maybe we should take a note from our people up north or our people down south, because both of them seem to know how to raise chickens without the flu. And Nissan, bright yellow. It's the only one on Oahu. And it's a Nissan, so technically, actually, it is a Datsun. Okay, so I wonder, was the 370Z a model of that car when Nissan was referred to Datsun? And it's bright yellow. So I know that this is stupid, Felicia, but is banana a 6-letter word? B-A-N-A-N-A. Yeah, banana. Banana. That's, That's my suggestion. Banana. And then and let's see here. Lemon. No, we don't want a lemon. And let's see here. You got free run eggs, which I guess is what Canada calls free range eggs. $7 and from Solar Farm. Nice. 12 free range eggs at Tesco go for $4.10 now. Mama Shun was a 240Z that was Datsun. Okay. I'm so glad y'all are understanding why my brain is asking these questions. 280Z. Okay. So, let's see here. Your art teacher had one, says Shock. I don't really remember what the 280Zs, those Datsuns were for sure, but if they're the car I think they are, that my memory brain is trying to remember, I really liked those cars because they kind of looked like a Camaro, but kind of not. But I might be remembering the wrong car. And I think we all know that I'm probably remembering the wrong car. But $4 for 12 free range eggs at Tesco. That seems like it's expensive for you guys these days, Terry. Although for me, I'd be like, let's just buy all of those eggs at that price. But it seems like the eggs up in England and in the UK are, because I know you're not in England, I apologize. Up in the UK are getting more expensive. Hey, Sue Honda, good to see you. We have an assignment. Felicia has a 370, a Nissan, a bright yellow Nissan 370Z, 380Z. Uh-oh. What kind of car is it again? Wait, what was it again? Okay, she's got a bright yellow Nissan, and she needs a name for it. Or not a name, but she needs six letters for her license plate, and she wants it to be funny. Now, the only thing I could think of was banana. But that's not really that funny. But it's a 6-letter word, and it's a yellow car, so banana. But yeah, that's our assignment for the evening, if we can come up with funny ideas. She wanted to get one that said not his, but it's already been taken. So can't do that. Now, Felicia, you did say it was not his, that was H-I-Z. Is it, oh, because of the Z, you wanted it. Right, I get it now. I'm just wondering if not his with the S was taken or not, but it's, I'm finally, I'm getting it now. Yeah, I'm getting it now. Let's see here. All right, I have to think on this. And let's see here. We've got Terry in Scotland. The Nissan S30 sold to Japan as the Nissan Fairlady Z, but badged as the Datsun 240Z, 260Z, and 280Z for export are the same two-seat sports cars and 2+2 GT cars produced by Nissan from 1969 until 1978. Okay, so maybe they are the car I'm thinking of. Because they're a little bit of a sports car. Kind of would have reminded me as a little kid of a Camaro. Because that's what I would think of as a sports car when I was a little kid. And let's see here. My daughter's chickens at her school are really raised well, regulated, checked out regularly. Some of the best eggs you've had. A birthday dozen is great. Oh, I bet, Darlene. And it was your birthday recently. I hope you got a birthday dozen. And Mitchie Mama, BZB. Okay, that's a good one. BZ and then Busy Bee. Yes. That is definitely, I like that one better than banana. And then let's see here. Or Chicks with a Z. That one's way better than banana. And let's see here. Do I know what a Miata looks like? Yeah, the Mazda Miatas, they're like little marshmallow cars, right? They're the tiny little ones. And when they're white, they look like a marshmallow. I think I know what, yeah, it's a Mazda, right? Yeah, I think I know that. And Terry's asking, was that the Mazda with the rotary engine? Ooh, yeah, it's a really good question. A rotary engine? I don't really know what that even means. So we'll let somebody who knows more about that answer that question. And Kenny from the Cove, Easy Rider, Easy RIDR. And let's see here. And yeah, I think it's a cute name. I agree. And then you could put little bees like on the gas cap. You could like put a little bee or something. And yeah, so I think bananas and bees are about all we've got for you right now, Felicia. But hopefully it'll spark. I really like the BZB. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I like that one a lot. Way better than banana. But I want to do more though. I want to do more. And Mitchie Mama, there's a European sports car that looks like a 270Z, but you can't think of the name. Yeah. You've come to the right crowd. Wrong person, but right crowd. Somebody here, I'm sure, will know the car of which you speak. It's not me, though. Not me at all. And let's see here. Oh, you guys. Oh, no. I forgot to do something. Let's see here. So Terry coming in, the Wankel engine is a type of internal combustion engine using an eccentric rotary design to convert pressure into rotating motion. The concept was proven by German engineer Felix Wankel, followed by a commercially feasible engine designed by German engineer Hans-Dieter Paschke. All right, there you go. And Felicia is we wish we could give you more better help, but hopefully it'll at least spark your idea. Although, okay, Kenny from the Cove, actually, I like that. Nanners, like a banana, but multiple, but with a Z. Nanners, that's cute, actually. That is a cute one. It would take a little while to like figure that one out if I saw it on the road, but then I would eventually giggle. Daisy, that one's good. Colty, I mean, I'm not the one who gets to choose, but I like that one too. These are definitely some good situations. And yeah, all right, cool, you guys. That's good. We've got some creative juices flowing. Now, I wanted to do something. I wanted to show you guys something, but I didn't get it prepped. So I'm going to show you guys something else, and while I get this prepped, and then we'll talk about something else. But for right now, we're totally switching the subject. Boy, oh boy, are we switching the subject. We're going to talk about jewelry. We're going to talk about jewelry and sterling silver, you guys. Yeah, exactly. Daisy's a cool one too. Then add some daisies. Exactly. Because daisies are totally have little yellow middles. And then bees are all, and then of course the Canadians are like, DayZ. Those daisies are DayZ. They're DayZ. Although actually, well, no, this is a little esoteric. I was dazed, but never mind. Anyway. All right, you guys. Here, learn something about silver, and then I'm going to show you something that happened yesterday. I just forgot to load it up, but this happened to me yesterday. It wasn't really happening. Anyway, here, watch this and find out about how Tiffany's a liar. Who's Tiffany? You know who Tiffany is. We all know who Tiffany is. We all know a Tiffany. No, actually, we all know who this Tiffany is. And she's a liar. But let's listen to her lies, shall we?
One of the world's most notorious companies is flat out lying to you, and I'm going to use this spoon to prove it. Right away, it's probably evident that I'm not brandishing an ordinary spoon at you. More to the point though, you might be wondering how a spoon can possibly be proof of a global conspiracy. In order to understand that, we need to look at these symbols. The crowned leopard's head tells us that the spoon was made in London, and the uppercase R indicates that it was manufactured in 1772. The lion passant means that the spoon is made of sterling silver. Now, sterling silver isn't pure silver, or what we'd call fine silver. It's an alloy comprising 92.5% silver and 7.5% copper. That specific ratio has been in use since before the year 1000, but it was officially mandated as the English standard in the year 1300. Other countries have also been using the same standard for centuries, and they each have their own hallmarks. That's what the symbols are called, hallmarks. They can only be stamped using incredibly well-protected tools held by entities called assay offices. Let's fast forward to 1747 and visit Boston, Massachusetts, where a young silversmith named Paul Revere was beginning his apprenticeship. Yeah, you know the guy who made his midnight ride to shout the British are coming? He was an American silversmith, and a damned good one. The thing is, America was still under British rule at the time, so they used the British sterling standard. And because they didn't have easy access to an assay office, silversmiths would stamp their products with their own marks. Paul Revere used his name, but other makers used either the word sterling or the numbers 925. This was officially adopted in 1814 by the Baltimore Assay Office, which was the only one of its kind in America. So the 92.5% standard for sterling silver has been around for over a millennium. The practice of explicitly marking it has been around since at least 1300, and Americans have been using 925 as a mark since 1814 at the latest. Why does any of this matter? Well, remember how I said that one of the world's most notorious companies is flat out lying to you? Let's turn our attention to Tiffany & Company. You've almost certainly heard of Tiffany. That's the name of the company, by the way. It isn't Tiffany's, it's Tiffany. They make and sell ludicrously expensive luxury items like jewelry, watches, and $1,000 soup cans. The company was founded by Charles Louis Tiffany in 1837, which you may notice was 23 years after 1814. That's why this line on Tiffany's official website is so absurd. The tag instead featured an engraved 925, referencing the standard for silver that Tiffany established and was eventually adopted by the United States. Putting aside the questionable grammar in that sentence, Tiffany absolutely did not establish the sterling standard. They didn't even come up with the practice of marking it. There is nothing about their claim that's true. I'd expect this kind of lie from a scammy dropshipper of Alibaba-sourced junk, but not from a company that presents itself as being the pinnacle of refinement. I wrote them a snarky letter about this, but they just ignored me. So now I'm calling them out publicly. Hey, Tiffany, unless old Chuck was a Victorian-era time traveler, you need to quit your bullshit. As for the rest of you, I hope that you learned something. And if you didn't, I'll leave you with this. A lot is always 2 words.
All right, so, yeah, Tiffany lied. I mean, and it's not like even a little subtle lie. Like, it really is a blatant historical, hey, dude, this is so provably wrong. So, yeah, there you have it, Rabbit. Let's see here. Silver was selling for $34.25 an ounce today, so sterling is 92.5% of that price. I don't really know if that's exactly how that works, but perhaps yes. There you go. And yeah, so I will say one thing though. I did not know until this particular video that 925 meant the same thing as sterling. I was always under the impression that sterling silver was marked always as sterling. All of the sterling silver that I saw my grandma and my grandpa and my mom wear, granted from Canada, was always marked with sterling. And so when I would see 9.25 or 9.925 or 925 or whatever, I always wondered, well, does that, because I knew that 912 was not sterling. I have an allergy to some metals. And so a 912 bracelet that my roommate got for me in Mexico, super beautiful. I wore it for like a day and then welts and rashes and all sorts of gross stuff. And she was like, well, what are you talking about? 912 is as good a silver as there is. And I was like, I think sterling's better. And she was like, oh, well, sterling, that's a whole different thing. And it's like, well, that's the only thing I can wear. But 925 apparently is the same thing as sterling. For those of you who didn't know that, like me, there you go. And let's see, if you want currency that will work once our banking system is trashed by the new administration, buy bulk silver dimes. They have bullion value and are small enough to be useful. Very true. Very, very true. And but Pinnell coming in, also hard to find the silver dimes these days. Yeah, you pay a very pretty penny to get the silver dimes, shall we say. But you know what you don't have to pay a pretty penny for? That's right. When you live in my neighborhood and you know people like me, you don't have to pay a pretty penny for cupboards. Because I'm a cupboard summoner. You know how you guys made fun of me? You know how you made fun of me for grabbing my cupboards off the side of the road and putting food in them? Well, let me just tell you right now, where I go, the cupboards follow. And if you need a cupboard, just roll with me for a little while and I will find you a cupboard on the side of the street. We've got tall cupboards, we've got short cupboards, we've got street cupboards, we've got corner cupboards, we've got curved cupboards, we've got ceiling cupboards, we've got floor cupboards, we have got dark cupboards, we've got light cupboards, we've got drawers, we've got... We've got sides. We've got them all. I'm a cupboard summoner. And closet doors. What do you need? We have got it for free on the side of the road. And so when I drove by that literally yesterday, I had to stop and take a picture because I know that the last time we talked about my free cupboards, everyone was laughing at me for having like free cupboards. It's like, well, yeah, free cupboards. I'm not gonna. And just so you know, I walked away. I didn't take one of those cupboards. I thought about it. I really did, but I did not take one cupboard, not one. Although I will admit that that bed table, that side table, the dark wood one, not the cherry wood cupboard, that one with the 2 drawers, that did look mighty tempting, but I didn't take it. But yeah. Do you need a cupboard? I've got a guy. He's on the side of the street. He's on the side of the road. And they're all free. And Kenny from the Cove, nice. You have a 1881 Morgan silver dollar and 2 Mercury silver dimes. That's cool. Those are probably worth their weight in silver. Actually, they're probably worth their weight in gold. No, probably not. But I'll bet they're worth more than their weight in silver. Anyway, no, Darlene, you didn't make fun of me. That is true. That is true. And you think it's great to be impulsive and creative in your living space. We have a couple stacked cupboards up at North Cabin for our towels. It works as a convenient linen cabinet. Exactly, dude. A linen cabinet, not a linen cannon. Don't put your linens in the cannons. That's not good for the cannon or your linens. The linens will get dirty if you put them in a cannon. So don't do that. I actually, and I don't know, this really bummed me out. I used to have Kenny, I didn't take a cupboard where was I concussed at the time? No, but that was a very valid question because I did just suffer from, I don't even know, you do know I just recently had a concussion, right? But no, no, I didn't because the cupboards, because I don't have a place to put an extra cupboard right now. The cupboards that I currently have, the one that I have in my kitchen on top of some milk crates, on top of a table, needs to be hung on the wall. And then the cupboard I have on top of my bookshelf needs to be hung where the one in the kitchen on top of the milk crates needs to be put there. Once that happens, then I'll have room for another cupboard. But right now, I don't have a room for another cupboard. And by this answer, I hope you guys know I sat there long and hard thinking about, should I take a cupboard? There's so many cupboards. So many options. So many options. And exactly, C Honda, it's a good price. I saw a cupboard for free today down the street. Exactly, you guys, seriously, when you go cupboard shopping, sometimes just like look on the street. And Rick, yeah, we have a Habitat for Humanity restore here, free to drop off stuff, but you buy from them to support the Habitat. Yeah, we've got that too, but here's the deal. Those ones are free. And let's see here. So Terry, coming in, I read a scathing article about the wacko Secretary of Health and Human Services today. One comment was, boy, when I grow up, I want to be a libertarian. Mother, son, do you want to grow up to become a libertarian? Do you want to grow up or become a libertarian? You can't do both. That's funny. And let's see here. So, no, but back to the coins, you guys. I used to have a silver certificate from like 1924. It was it was $10 bill, but it was all printed in red. And the picture on the front was definitely like Model A Fords and stuff. It was old. I had that in my little cool money drawer. And then I had a couple other like misprinted dollar bills that were just, like wonky or whatever. So because back in the day, I used to handle a lot of cash for reasons. And so I would go through my cash and look for weird bills, look for askew bills, look for the bills that have the little star on them because those are reprints. I would look for, the dollars that are worth more than $1 kind of thing. And I would pull them and exchange them with regular money. So I had a little envelope of like money that I wanted to save. Not like, collectible money. I mean, all money's collectible, but you know what I mean. And anyway, one day, and I to this day don't know how this happened, I looked down under this very desk that I'm sitting at, and I picked up a nickel, and I don't remember what year it was, but it was old. And it was a buffalo nickel. And it was a buffalo nickel with only 3 legs. And like apparently those were way more like those. A buffalo nickel with 3 legs is worth a lot. I mean, a lot might only be 75 cents, but still for a nickel, it's worth a lot. And so I was super stoked. So I put it in with all my funny money to save it. And well, then I got broken into, and so now all my funny money got stolen. Yeah, I know, a buffalo nickel, 3 legs. Oh, that's a nice coin. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. And the thing is that really pisses me off is the person who took it, I have no doubt in my mind, they have no idea what that was. I have no doubt in my mind that they just spent it like a regular nickel. And it's just like, man, you could have got a whole $1 for that nickel, but instead you just chose to spend it for 5 cents. And yes, Kenny, we don't need to talk about well-hung cupboards. No, we don't. No, we do not. But what we do need to talk about is it's almost 4 minutes to the bottom of the hour. Did I ever find the 4th leg? No, I did not, Terry. But then again, I did not go looking for it either because I wanted it to remain on 3 legs. The 4th leg would have completely ruined its value. And a 3-legged buffalo nickel is about as rare as hen's teeth. Absolutely. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I have no doubt in my mind that upon very close scrutiny, it probably was not a true 3-legged buffalo nickel. It probably was a regular one that someone had altered to make it look like it was 3 legs. Because I know that there are fakes in circulation like that. Because the likelihood of me stumbling upon that is just, the odds are slim. But either way, it looked like a legit one to me. And so I was really excited. And so I just, and even if it was a 4-legged one, whatever, dude. I mean, there's still the buffalo nickels they ain't new. And so, well, I think they've got newer ones now. But when I had them, it was not, and it was probably, Darlene, I hadn't even thought about that, but you're right. It probably was all silver too. You're right. Now, I can't remember when the dime switched over. I want to say it was like 64 or 63 or something like that. I have a dime from like 65 that I pulled in hopes that maybe it was silver, but I don't think it is. All right, you guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging out here, doing the hype train for the biddies, the resubs, the subbing, etc., etc. I want to thank you guys for chatting around, and I would like to extend the homework assignment to everyone for Felicia. 6-letter word, could be 2 words, or 6 letters is the limit, could be 2 words, whatever. Yellow Nissan, make it funny. Doesn't have to have a Z in it, but I feel like we've sort of all agreed that a Z is appropriate. So yeah, just this, ponder this. And shock, buffalo nickels were never silver, they were copper and nickel. I kind of wondered that because I was like, wait, maybe nickels used to be made with nickel. Hence the name. But I know enough to know that I didn't know. But okay, they were always copper and nickel. Either way, I was super stoked, and then I was bummed. Although I will admit, I was more bummed about being broken into. It wasn't until much later that I realized, oh, I lost these things. But yeah, anyway. And yes, Darlene, thank you for recognizing that this is a busy tax time. And luckily today I did have time to do both Crazy Tax Job and do this. So, so I really, really, really am thankful that you guys could come around. And by the way, Kenny from the Cove, I know that you have been super bummed because you can't always come here on Wednesday, but just so you know, the last couple of Wednesdays we haven't had a show because I've had to cancel it for my work. So you haven't been missing much on Wednesdays. So don't have a fear of missing out because we weren't here to be missed. Or rather, I guess you could. Anyway, we weren't here. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. And let's see here. Today is, I think, Wednesday, which means Saturday is when we're going to hang out at the Secret Squirrel Spot for our cinema time. And Saturday's movie is going to be called The Help. Lots of people are in it. It's based on a book. It takes place in the 1960s in the Deep South. And yeah. It's funny. It's funny. It is funny. But I wish I could. You will know a lot of the people that are in it. I just can't remember any of their names. So I'm not going to tell you. And there you go. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully, yes, indeed, Mitchie Mama. No spoilers. No spoilers, and you did not. You beautifully alluded to, and I absolutely nailed it. Nailed it. So there is a pie that is featured in this movie. It's featured a couple different times. More than once, in fact. One of the pies was delicious. The other pie, well, it was delicious too. Or so they said. All right, so Kenny from the Cove is going to send us a picture of Sam's hat. And I'm going to finally download the flippin' flirpin' pictures of Don Don Donkey so we can walk through the store in Capole, thanks to Picola Tea. And yeah. Hopefully we'll see each other on Saturday. If we don't, 5 p.m. West Coast time Sunday is when we'll chat again. And Terry in Scotland is putting up the stop sign, so it is time to stop. All right, see you later. Have a good one.